right, everyone. Hello, Holly King. Welcome to my podcast. This is Wild Kingdom Wellness. We will talk about everything well in this podcast. We will explore topics that include subject matters like spirituality, physical, mental, emotional health, and also the things you see going on in the world around you. So if you are ready to go on this Wild Kingdom Wellness ride with me, then make sure that you subscribe to this podcast. You also share this particular podcast and more with others. I will be exploring the realms that people are afraid to go into, and you will not want to miss these episodes. So, Holly King, Wild Kingdom Wellness, welcome to my journey. All right, everyone. Hello, Holly King. Welcome to my Wild Kingdom Wellness podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Tuesday. It is February the 24th, 2026. The color of the day today is white, and the moon, she is precisely in the sign of Gemini. Also, for you witchy women and men out there, we are also entering into the second quarter phase of the moon. So for those of you all that do follow moon astrology, we are in a waxing, W-A-X-I-N-G, a waxing state, meaning that in a couple of weeks, the moon will be full, F-U-L-L, full, right? And it'll be full in Virgo. But today, because we're going through the cycles of the zodiac, the moon is currently in Gemini, and we have entered into the second quarter phase of the moon cycle. So what that means for you ladies and gentlemen that do work moon magic, the second quarter phase of the moon is where things really start to ramp up before you get to the full moon. Okay, so, and I'm going to flip through my Llewellyn's Witches Date Book 2026, and this is where I get my information. So for those of you all watching on video, you can see that I do have the almanac here in my hand. For those of you all listening on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you're just going to have to trust me. So anyway, you could always go to my YouTube channel if you wanted to see the video compilation of this podcast. So, and you can go to Wild Kingdom Wellness, subscribe, like. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into today. Okay, so today we have a second quarter moon, waxing going towards Virgo. We also have the moon currently at this very moment in time as I am recording this video in the sign of Gemini. But what I really want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, isn't so much about the moon signs and what's going on in deep astrology. I want to talk about people who are having their birthday this cycle, and I want to talk about the Piscean energy, Pisces, that we have going on right now, today, in the sun sign of the zodiac. Okay, so if you know astrology on any realm, level, you know, if you're an intermediate, if you are advanced, then you completely understand what I'm talking about when I talk about astrology and how we apply that to our spiritual daily practices. Okay, so all of that being said, we're looking at Pisces today. I want to talk to you guys about the sign of Pisces. We're going to do a little bit of a lesson today. We're going to have an astrology class today, so make sure you have hit follow, like, subscribe, because there is so much going on in the universal realms right now when it comes to astrology and spiritual awakening and spiritual wellness, that if you are not a daily practitioner of the astrological arts, then you may be missing some very key elemental work that you could be doing to not only give yourself permission to work through magical cycles of the universe and allow your mind, body, and spirit to actually make a connection, okay? Because that happens when you start working with, you know, spiritual gifts, per se, spiritual rituals, spiritual, work, I guess is what I would call it, to make it simple. We always want to make things like all sound so eloquent, right? But guys, this is just, for me, as a practitioner, everyday spiritual work. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the sign of Pisces, and I want to specifically talk to the people who are having their birthday right now as Pisceans. I want you to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, do you Pisceans, do you people who are having your birthday right now between February 19th and March 20th, okay, so all you humans who were born between February 19th and March 20th, you are in Western astrology a designated Pisces. Okay. Do you have any idea what that means? And if you do not, then I do continue to ask you to like and subscribe. But I'm serious. I want to ask a few questions of my fellow Pisceans because I have had, I'm a Scorpio, okay, so just kind of for context right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am a Scorpio. I'm a double Scorpio, meaning my Scorpio is right. I have a rising Scorpio, a Scorpio sun, and my moon is in Cancer, okay. So people who have Piscean energy, they are similar in nature when it comes to my water sign element, meaning that we're intuitive, that we are, extremely into the occult, the fantasy, the healing arts, like water signs, guys, which Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, those are the three water signs in astrology, okay? It's deep, emotional, energetic, spiritual work. So in your natal chart, as a human being, if you have Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio in any large placement in your natal chart, your birth chart, chances are you are a highly sensitive, highly emotional healing energy. You absorb people's stuff, like you're the water signs of the zodiac, which correlates back to spiritual, emotional energy. Okay, again, if you understand astrology on any level, ladies and gentlemen, on any level, you know that what I'm saying is truth. It is at least true in the realms of astrology, okay? Because astrology, guys, it's a science and an art smashed together into life force energy. Like, it is, when you start to really look at astrology as an individual, not only as you as a person, your own personal natal chart, but when you start to look at the collective consciousness of astrology and what's going on in the world around us today, right now, as I'm recording this video, you gotta say, what the F is going on, right? People have become excessively emotionally distraught. Now, back to Pisces. Okay, my Pisces, ladies and gentlemen, friends, you are a feminine water sign of the zodiac. You are the element of water. Your quality is mutable, okay? And I know you're going, well, wait a minute, Holly. I don't even know what it means to, be a Pisces. All I know is my birthday's coming up, or I'm having my birthday today. But you're talking about something called my quality as a Pisces, and that you're telling me I'm mutable. I don't know what that means, right? So again, a lot of people don't understand that the signs of the zodiac, we pair them up into groups: fire sign, water sign, mutable sign, cardinal sign, fixed sign of the zodiac. And the everyday average person, again, doesn't really know what that means. So y'all, I'm talking a foreign language to most of you all who are listening to the sound of my voice. But stay with me on this, okay? Because I promise you, in 5 or 10 minutes after having this conversation with you today on February the 24th, 2026, you're probably going to go, oh, well, I don't really know what she said, but it makes sense. And why it makes sense is because, again, astrology, Western astrology, and what's going on with the sun, moon, and stars right now as I live and breathe, y'all, it's a system. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get people to understand is that I'm just not out here channeling, redunculous information. I'm telling you, as an astrologer, as a spiritual life coach, okay, as a Reiki master, as a woman who follows the sun, moon, and stars, the rising and the setting of all things energetic in our world, guys, we would do well to understand what it means to work with the energy of the day. Okay, so today we are in a sun sign of Pisces, mutable sun sign of Pisces. Okay, so mutation. What does it mean to mutate? I want you to think about water for a minute. I want you to think about the creatures in the depths of the ocean, and I want you to think about the bioluminescence and the shape-shifting energy of something like an octopus or a seahorse or all the creatures who are deep, deep, deep down into that emotional oceanic energy, okay? That's the kind of energy we're working with today. When I say to you that Pisces is a mutable sign of the zodiac, y'all, Pisces is that shape-shifting energy, okay? Down into the depths of the bottom of the ocean. It is the beauty. It is the fantasy. If you think about the god, the little god, G-O-D, the god, well, he wasn't so little, but the god Neptune, okay, in Greek mythology. If you think about, Ariel's dad in the Disney movie of The Little Mermaid, okay, you have this kingship energy, Neptune, ruling Pisces, because Neptune, the planet Neptune, which is also a mythological character in Walt Disney, okay, in The Little Mermaid, you have depth and you have power. You're like, again, Holly, what the heck does that have to do with what's going on in the world around me right now? And why would I even care? Because, y'all, the sign of the times is here, okay? The sign of the times is here with us today, dearly beloved. So, understand that when I'm talking about the spiritual life force energy of the sun sign of Pisces right now, we are dealing with, and I'm channeling, so just enjoy, okay? We are dealing with very serious shape shifting energy. I'm going to pause right there and reflect for a minute, because for those of you all that are paying attention to geopolitical global politics, you all know that there is some weird, shape shifty, messed up stuff going on in the world. And the everyday person, like you and I, we're going, what the heck is going on with all this geopolitical garbage? Like it's a destruction right now. Okay, so Pisces energy is going to come in and going to ask you to really think about what it is you believe. Okay, now that is a philosophical explanation of what's going on energetically and astrologically in the universe today on February the 24th, 2026. Okay, this ruling planet of Neptune is currently in the sign of Aries today. If you looked out in the sky and you looked for the planet Neptune, it would be resting comfortably in the sign of Aries. Okay, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today. We'll talk about what that means later. But I want you to think for a minute, especially for y'all that are watching me on YouTube and on video, because you see my hands, okay? I've got one hand above my head, one hand in front of my heart. You have this powerful pouring out, you have this energy pouring out from Neptune into the sign of Aries, which is the sign of war, mind you guys, okay? It is fanatical. I didn't say phenomenal. I said fanatics, like crazy, lunatic, fanatical energy. Okay. And you go, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Okay. And so what you are consuming when it comes to information, okay, what you are watching on TV, what your belief systems looks like spiritually, all of the fantasy, because Pisces is all about fantasies, okay? Fantasy. This is very much fantasy island time, ladies and gentlemen. What you believe in is going to set in motion, ocean in motion. It's going to set in motion the stage for the next, let's just say, upcoming 4 to 6 weeks as we shift through astrological energy going about our day. Okay, so right now, it's a good time for you, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you are a Pisces or you have a lot of Pisces in your natal chart. This is a very good time for you to ask yourself, what mask do you want to be wearing when you walk out into the world right now? Okay, what archetypical mask? How do you want to present yourself? Okay, and I'm speaking from spiritual places, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, how are you going to show up in the world right now as we enter into spring and the new year if you follow the cycles of the moon? Okay, so we just had a lunar new year. That was Chinese astrology. We had an American new year. Okay, if you live in America, the United States, we just had our United States American New Year, January 1st. Here we are. We're almost to the end of February, ladies and gentlemen. So we've had two big new years and provided out of different culture, right? A Chinese New Year. You know how many people I saw on social media celebrating the Fire Horse Lunar New Year energy last week on the 19th, the other day? Do you know how many Americans that I saw celebrating the lunar Chinese New Year the other day? A whole bunches of you. And you know what that tells me? Ladies and gentlemen, here's your epiphany for the day, okay? You all love me. I know you do. But listen to me. If you took out all the arguing, all the fighting, all the geopolitics around the world, and you looked at the celebrations that different cultures have and how they intermix together, especially here in America, because we are excessively diverse, there is an energy, there is a passion inside of the human being that just wants to live their life and celebrate good news, good things, good tidings. Hey, I'm ready for Christmas. How about you? Not. Y'all, come on. But as a human species, okay, as a human species, we want to celebrate, the gift of life. Nobody wants to really celebrate the gift of death. Like, a lot of people do not think about what it means to celebrate the gift of death. It takes a very specialized person to even understand that death is a gift. If you come from my Pentecostal background, as a spiritual practitioner, and as a Scorpio, mind you, because we are of the eighth house energy of life and death and resurrection. This it's very natural for me, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about what may or may not take place on the other side, and do so without a fear mentality of worrying about whether or not I'm going to get up every day and live another day and walk the walk that I have been called to walk as a spiritual arts practitioner, instead of sensing that, oh my God, I need to live in fear, and now I have an autoimmune disorder and things are going crazy and the world's going to blow up. And guess what? We got ships going to Iran and we got all this stuff going on, and we're talking about WW3 about to hit us upside the head as a globe, not even as a Kentuckian, okay? As a planet. We got all this infrastructure fighting going on, and here we are. If we were really smart, like most astrologers are, we would look at the energy of the day and go, well, we got Saturn in Aries, we got Neptune in Aries. There's going to be some fighting. We can definitely say that, energetically, astrology manifests in the physical. And for people who follow this stuff, you know darn good and well that I'm telling you a truth that is true. Everything cycles back around. There is nothing new under the sun, according to the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible. But here we are, right? And it's amazing to me how we are now understanding that, oh my God, like the sun affects my body, the moon affects my body, like, other people's thoughts affect my body. There is something out there called transference and countertransference, and it is very real. Ask any psychologist, ask any physician, ask any massage therapist, ask any astrologer. Guys, this energy affects us on a daily basis, minute by minute, moment by moment. We're just going through the motions of life, all the while we're getting swept away with the ocean of emotion of what's going on geopolitically in the world around us, not even thinking that we could just sit down for a minute and look at the astrology of the day and go, well, the moon's in Gemini. I need to be speaking up today because Gemini is a communication sign ruled by Mercury, and the sun's in Pisces. So I need to be putting on my makeup, putting on my clothes, brushing my teeth, maybe put on a little bit of lipstick and get up and do a video because I need to shape shift my way through the social media feeds so that people will find me swimming in this ocean of information. Just keep going, and go, I want to teach people how to utilize the magical gift of astrology on a daily basis and not have to worry and fear about what's going on in the world around us, okay? It's a really philosophical conversation, guys, but nonetheless true. So anyway, let's move on. The glyph, G-L-Y-P-H, or the written symbol for the sign of Pisces looks like an H. So if you all have seen that little H with the curved hips, it is a pictograph representing two fishes tied together. Okay, so again, the sign of Pisces, you got two fish tied by the tail, tied together, swimming in different directions. Like the sign of Gemini, you have conflict. Will have mental, emotional conflict. And that happens, y'all. It does. Like sometimes there are some days where you just feel like you can't handle the mental, emotional conflict of the day any longer, and it is ripping you apart. Okay, so for those of you who are listening to me on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, make sure you follow this channel, click like and subscribe. Drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you. But anyways, guys, it's conflict energy. Okay, and the fact that Neptune is in Aries, who rules Pisces, it's conflict energy. We have Saturn in Aries, who is conjunct with Neptune right now. And if you don't know what conjunct means, side by side buddies, okay? You got these big planets of karma and fantasy resting up into the constellation of Aries right now. It is mass conflict. Mental, emotional, spiritual conflict. But what I am here to do as your Wild Kingdom Wellness spiritual leader, and the host of this amazing podcast is to get you to think for yourself for just a minute and go, wait a minute. I don't need to have mental, emotional conflict in my world because guess what? All this stuff is going to pass by me eventually, okay? And if you are of the awakened, enlightened state, if you're a light worker at all on earth right now, and I know a bunches of you are because I run with the wolves, right? If you are a light worker here in America, if you are a light worker on the planet of Earth, okay, and you know who you are, I know you know who you are, I see you, boo. Listen, just go with it. Go with the flow, okay? This stuff's not going to go away tomorrow. I wish I could bring the better news, the betterment of news to go, oh, all this conflict is going to go away tomorrow. And when I wake up tomorrow, I am living in the underworld of fantasy. I got my SpongeBob house out. I'm hanging out with Patrick. Like, I'm just going to float along in my pretty little oceanic floor, and I'm going to shapeshift, and I'm going to look like an octopus, and I'm just going to glitter my way through life and not get eaten by a shark. Like that, in my brain, that's how I think, you all. It's like I just want to be left alone to enjoy the quietness and the depths of my own thoughts and emotions. Pisces is not going to let you do that when it is in the sign of Aries, okay? When Neptune is in, it's not going to happen. You're going to have thoughts. You're going to have crazy thoughts, and you're going to go, why did I think that? Or I have anxiety, or oh my gosh, I can't get myself together, and I'm just going to cry. Water, tears, and I just feel like the world is ending. Y'all, that's the negative side of Pisces, and I'm so sorry to bring that information to you because listen, there's no judgment here, y'all. We Scorpios, we are just like that. We're probably worse. I would say if you have a Scorpio who's upset, a Pisces is going to look like a guppy. Okay, when you got a Scorpio ready to sting you, that's a whole nother subject. But as human beings who have enlightenment and knowledge and understand that using occult energy, aka astrology or whatever, the moon cycles, magic, a lot of people call it witchcraft, which now everybody's like, I practice witch. Like, I can see it now, y'all. It's like a story being written. All the good witches are coming out of the closet going, we're just going to lay our altar out here and pray that the world doesn't blow up before us, because I would like to go out here and fry me a burger or whatever, unless you're a vegan. I apologize. I just want to live the good life. I just want to live the good life. I'm of the X generation, y'all. I just want to live the good life, okay? I don't want to be worrying every single minute of every day about some doomsday message that's coming through the pipeline, especially if you are of the belief system that, like, we are in the Armageddon. Maybe we are. Maybe we are in the end days. Like, you know what? I mean, if I had to flip a coin, I'm like, probably we are. But I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to live in fear that, I love Jesus. Jesus loves me. Like, this I know, but also know that, like, we are entering into a collapse of our geopolitical systems. I'm just going to call them that. Like, I don't want to think about like the adjectives that go along with the words I'm trying to say. We are in a geopolitical collapse as we speak. How that works, I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I do know that I have enough faith. I have faith like a mustard seed, okay, which I will plant if I need to. Y'all, I have so much faith that this stuff's going to pass by us. And at some point, our millennial generation and our X's, our Y's, and our Z's, Gen Z, okay, X, Y, and Z, okay, because I love you baby boomers. I know you hear me on this podcast, but listen to me. We got to get you moving, okay? We need to keep you alive because baby boomers are now starting to break down and not do well medically because, y'all, we've been eating shit through most of our generation. That's for another day, okay? That's for another wellness topic another day. But, guys, we can do this if we pray and we seek out deep spiritual knowledge and realize that we are all made up of spiritual life, force, energy, and that how you need to present yourself to the world, the way that you choose to present yourself to the world, is indicative of the amount of life force energy that flows through your body. And how that energy flows, is it positive or negative? What kind of ionic sphere are you producing when you walk outside your house? What kind of ionic aura, A-U-R-A, what's your aura? Y'all be wearing this aura rings all the time. Listen, I get it. You want to monitor yourself so you're not having a heart attack. You're like, oh my God, my blood pressure's up, or my pulse rate's down. Or I'm like, did you exercise today? Did you pray? Did you eat an apple? Like, hello. What are we doing with our bodies here? Well, guys, what I'm doing with my body is I'm concentrating each and every day on what Spirit would have me to say and do, and allow the Piscean energy that's flowing right now in the universe to be a reflection of my life. And then I'm going to ask myself, if I'm going to put on lipstick, or I'm going to wear eyeshadow, or I'm going to like color my hair, and I'm going to do all these things to mask myself from, the nakedness of who I am, then I should be doing that also spiritually, not just physically. And I'm telling you guys, when you start doing that, because Pisces means compassion, okay? It's right here in the book, right here in the book. Pisces is a planet of compassion. It is a planet of dreams and visions and goals, and it's made of gold and green and blues and turquoise. That's the type of fantasy energy I'm going to be enveloping myself in today inside of my head. Okay, because Piscean energy is about your intuitive psychic mind. And I do believe, y'all, just like the Bible says, I do believe it says, as a man or woman thinketh, so are they. So anyway, that's what's going on in the world today. We got a moon in Gemini. We got a sun in Pisces. We've got angel and devil. We've got fishy. We've got guppy and shark. Okay, you got two sides to one coin today, and your mental emotional health is very important in the alignment of the sun, the moon, the stars today, and so it is. So anyway, I love you guys. That's what I wanted to say today. Remember to live the dream. Again, it is February the 24th. It's a Tuesday. The color of the day today is white, and the moon is in Gemini. The sun is in Pisces. And I'm just going to flow along and continue to ask you to like and subscribe. And we'll come back soon and we'll talk about some more stuff. We'll see you later, guys. Have a blessed day. Bye.
All right, guys, just a little disclaimer here by myself, Holly King. I am not a medical doctor, a licensed clinical therapist, or a mental health therapist. All information and coaching provided is for educational and supportive purposes only and should not be considered medical or psychological advice. Please do consult your physician, licensed therapist, or another qualified healthcare provider before making any changes related to your health or even before beginning any coaching. So what that means, guys, is just consult with your doctor when you decide to check out our podcast. We'll see you later, all right? Bye.